Hello and welcome to Norwood News. Today is April 5th and I'm your host, Krista McDonald. April 1st was the town-wide local elections. There were 3 contested races: the Library Board of Trustees, the Norwood Housing Authority, and the Board of Selectmen. It was revealed after 5,633 total votes that Tom Maloney has been re-elected and David Hajar will serve a 3-year term on the Board of Selectmen. After the results came in, the candidates shared their thoughts on the night and said farewell to a longtime colleague and server to the town of Norwood.
I really have to thank my family and friends for doing what they did to help me out. I would also like to pay tribute to Helen. Excellent campaigner. She made it tough. She's put a lot of years into this town, which as a resident I appreciate very much. So I can congratulate her on her 18 years of service. And what can I say? It was a great tribute to her all this time. For the people that didn't vote for me, I serve everybody. No, it doesn't matter whether you voted for me or not. We've got to make the right decisions for Norwood going forward, and I look forward to working with the other 4 board members to making good decisions.
I want to thank, first of all, the people who supported me and the people who worked in the campaign, beginning with my family, Kathy, John, and Laura. We had people out at every polling place all day today, sometimes 2 of them staying till 8 o'clock at night. So I just want to thank everybody who was involved in the campaign, first of all. Secondly, I want to congratulate my good friend David Hajar, who will now be joining me, and Paul and Alan and Bill on the Board of Selectmen. I think he's going to be a very good selectman. And finally, just the last thing I'd like to say, if you just give me 30 seconds here, if there is anybody in this town who is more enmeshed in the life and the history and the care of Norwood than Helen Donahue, I have yet to meet that person. Okay, she has been a part of this town for her entire life. She loves it as much, more than anybody else. She has done great work on the Board of Selectmen, and I'll tell you, as an old boxing fan, tonight, Helen went out like a true champion. She lost her title in the ring. So I want to thank her for her years of devotion. It's been a pleasure to serve with her on the board these past 3 years, and wish her well from here on.
Thank you, Tom and David. Those words were very nice and very well deserved. After her defeat in the election, Helen Donahue explains how she approached her decisions during her 18 years on the Board of Selectmen.
What I've tried to do on a daily basis as a member of the board is to be a representative for every person in the town, people from all walks of life, to think about how issues should be handled with not just the view of one part of the population, but rather the view of the entire population of the town. This creates difficult decisions to make, and it's important to accept the responsibility for the job, and it's not always the easy way out. I was making honest decisions based on my intelligence and my sense of fairness, and I think that's what I did best.
This was the first town-wide election held under the direction of Town Clerk Mary Lou Follen. After the polls close, ballots are hand-delivered to the town hall by police officers, and the results are posted outside Memorial Hall. According to Mary Lou, everything went smoothly.
Everything went really great today. We didn't have any problems, major problems. It was, for the amount of people that voted, it was a very smooth election. Low turnout, a little bit of a low turnout, but most town elections are and stuff. But as far as being my first, it went great. I have no problems. I have a great staff. Thank you to all of them. It was a long day and everything went great.
Thanks, Mary Lou, and thank you to everyone that came out and voted. For full election results, you can visit the government website at norwoodma.gov. Stay tuned after this break for information about the new police grants and for this week's Living Local. Welcome back. Recently, the Norwood Police Department was awarded 2 grants from the Executive Office of Public Safety and Security, Office of Grants and Research Highway Division. Officers are out conducting enforcement and education activity as part of the Pedestrian and Bicycle Safety Grant and the Traffic Enforcement and Equipment Grant.
So one campaign involves $10,000 in federal money that comes to the department, and it's split between $5,000 in overtime and $5,000 in equipment. The equipment money is used to replace old radar units. And the $5,000 in enforcement money is divided among 4 different blocks. Now, 2 of those blocks of enforcement are for impaired driving. So that's where our officers are out conducting traffic enforcement, but what they're trying to do is they're trying to find people who are impaired by alcohol, impaired by marijuana, impaired by other drugs, or some combination thereof. So that's 2 of the 4 blocks. Third block is the click on a ticket block, and that's where we do standard traffic enforcement, but what we're really looking for is motorists who are not wearing their seat belts and who are committing a moving violation. And then the 4th is distracted driving, if you will, but that's really aimed at people who are texting. But what this does, this grant money allows us to put officers on the street that don't have to answer radio calls, that are not taking reports. All they do is go out on the street and conduct enforcement. And because they're not working, they're paid overtime, and that's what the grant money goes towards. The other campaign we're in the middle of right now is $8,000. It's all enforcement money, and that's geared around bicycle and pedestrian safety, but our focus really is more on pedestrian safety right now. So what you'll see over the course of the next few months are Norwood police officers out on the street, and we're going to be looking at people who are in crosswalks where cars are not stopping for those pedestrians. You know that you have to yield for a pedestrian that's in the crosswalk, and if you don't, you can be pulled over and you can be cited for that. So in the interest of improving pedestrian safety around Norwood, you're going to see officers out conducting that enforcement.
The department has also created pedestrian safety cards that give helpful tips for both drivers and pedestrians.
The pedestrian safety cards we put those together here, and they're really for the pedestrian safety campaign. Now, you don't have to commit a violation to get one. We'll make them available here at the police station. I was at the senior center the other day talking to senior citizens. They were very concerned about this issue, and I gave one to everybody who was in attendance so they could take one home. Pedestrians are going to get them if the officers see them being unsafe. Motorists are going to get them. We'll have them here at the station, and we will take the cards. I think I've already done it once on Twitter, but we'll do it again where we'll put the cards out on social media so that people can read the information on both sides of the card.
Thanks, Chief. If you are interested in the pedestrian safety cards, pick them up at the police department. Are you planning an upcoming event and looking for a unique space to host it? Well, this week's Living Local is the place for you.
If you are looking for a unique party venue, then look no further than South Norwood. Little Bird Events, located at the Norwood Space Center, is the perfect spot to host your next event.
Little Bird Events is a space to host social events, corporate events, any kind of event that brings people together. We also do a series of workshops, fun events like pop-up dinners and Mom's Night Out.
Owner, Angela Marangi, had a dream to open her own boutique party space, and with her extensive hospitality background, she made her dream come true.
I previously was the events and marketing manager for Oleana Restaurant in Cambridge and opened up a bakery called Sofra, as well as helped them launch their CSA program with Sienna Farms. So I do have an extensive hospitality background, and I currently work for a family privately, managing their events and staff.
Little Bird has a special meaning behind the name, as Angela explains.
Little Bird Events is named after one of my daughters, and it's a meaningful connection to me, and it was pretty serendipitous with this previous building being called Bird & Sons, and we kind of just want to be the little bird that takes care of all your party planning needs for you.
As one of the first tenants at the Space Center, Angela loves the industrial vibe of the space.
Well, what first attracted me to the Space Center is the industrial vibe of the space. So I wanted to take that and run with it and make it a little more inviting and warm it up a little bit. We had a beautiful, a wonderful scenic painter who painted these steel doors in here. The original fire doors are still here, and that was the biggest draw for me of this space. And then we worked with an architect to design the space. So I wanted to be unlike a normal function hall where they tell you you can't have confetti, you can't hang things from the walls, you can't hang things from the ceiling. I wanted to be able to do all of that here and really customize the space to make it special for your events.
As a first-time business owner, Angela found the community of Norwood to be extremely helpful.
I love Norwood. I have to say, from the beginning of this whole venture, they really held my hand and walked me through the whole process, from obtaining a beer and wine license and getting the right permits and authorizations. Just everybody in town on the government side was amazing. And then I have done little marketing so far, and it's through the Norwood community that people are finding me through word of mouth, which has been fantastic. We are hoping to provide a wide range of events here, so keep following us to find out about more cooking demos, wine classes, calligraphy, floral arranging and wine, as well as some book signing events and fundraisers.
To find out more about Little Bird Events, you can visit their website at www.littlebirdevents.net or follow them on social media at Little Bird Events Norwood.
We're very lucky to have a beautiful place like that here in Norwood. Stay tuned after this break to find out what is happening in your local government. Welcome back to Norwood News. Following Monday's election, the Board of Selectmen reorganized and elected Paul Bishop to chairman of the board. Tuesday night's meeting was also David Hajara's first meeting as a selectman, having claimed victory over outgoing selectman Helen Abdallah Donahue. Hajar made these remarks in his agenda.
I first would like to thank for the warm welcome that you all have given me. This is great. Hope it's not just a honeymoon that I'm sure will. I really do appreciate it. So having worked with all of you in different capacities in the past, whether it was on the personnel board, the finance commission, I thought we all got along very well. So I'm very glad to be a part of, and honored and privileged to be a part of this board. I do want to thank my supporters, especially my family, my wife, Elaine, and my two boys, Matt and Nick. No matter what I asked them to do, they were there. So whether it was giving out flyers, holding signs on election day, or holding signs on Saturdays, it's a lot of work. It's a long process, as all of you know, having gone through the election process. It just didn't start 2 weeks ago. This started months ago. So I thank all of you. I do want to thank Helen for her years of service. One of the best things was you could have an argument with Helen, and then the next day there was a cake on the desk to be shared by everybody that she was talking with. So thank you.
The board met with Police Chief Brooks and Fire Chief Maurice as they provided their monthly department updates to the board. Seth Pickering and Nick Connors of the Massachusetts Department of Energy Green Communities Division gave a presentation to the selectmen describing how Norwood can become a green community and receive funding.
So the Green Communities Division has been designating towns since 2010. There are currently 240 out of the 351 municipalities in the Commonwealth that are designated green communities. And so we are hoping that in this next year we may have as many as 15 to 25, anywhere in that range, in addition to this 240.
Planning and Economic Development Director Paul Halkiotis answered questions the board had regarding the open lot storage moratorium proposed on the special town meeting warrant.
As you know, the planning board just approved last fall a controversial project for open lot storage for DCD Realty Trust. Project involved initially storing vehicles on both sides of the Ponset River, and it was subsequently scaled back. It's about to get finalized by the Conservation Commission tomorrow night. We have found parking lots full of brand new vehicles, unregistered, all over town, and The way the zoning has been set up was it's only allowed in the manufacturing district. But we found them in limited manufacturing and highway business all over town. And this has been an enforcement issue where the building inspector is chasing down whoever owns those vehicles.
The next Board of Selectmen meeting will be Tuesday, April 9th. The Zoning Board of Appeals met with representatives of Sky Restaurant on Tuesday to hear their plan of turning the current restaurant into 39 condos. The plan would consist of a 200-seat first-floor restaurant with 39 condos above with 2 entry points, the existing entry on Route 1 and a back entrance to Sumner Street, which is currently a gravel road. This is not the first time that this property came before the ZBA.
Well, there are 2 cases in which something has emerged for whatever it's worth. There were 2 cases brought with respect to this property, not by the current applicant, but by CAT Realty Trust / Star Restaurant Management, Inc.
In 1994, the former owners of the property sought relief via special permit to use the residential zoned portion of the property to park cars. Chairman Riley read minutes from that case.
Is that what I'm about to talk about did not become a specific condition to the decision. So it's not something that has to be overturned or unearthed in that manner. But it does appear to be a part of the actual discussion about the case and a part of both decisions. And I'll read the relevant portions. Mrs. Garrity also explained that the driveway from Sumner Street that goes into the rear parking area will not be used. The applicants are willing to block this area off according to the wishes of the board.
As the case went on, the board gave their input and heard from the public, including residents of Sumner Street. The zoning board voted to continue the matter to a later date. The next Board of Appeals meeting will be April 16th at 7 p.m. Wednesday evening, the Conservation Commission had their first meeting of the month of April. 2 notices of intent were presented to the board, one from DCD Realty and one from Paul Leston from Vanderbilt Realty Ventures. Along with the Treasurer and Conservation Agent's report, a request for an ANRAD was discussed for a project located on Boston Providence Turnpike. After a brief recess and some back and forth, the committee decided to extend the hearing until the next meeting, which will be on April 17th. The Willett Room at the Civic was host to Wednesday night's Planning Board meeting. The change of location was to accommodate the larger than usual crowd that was expected to attend the meeting. On the agenda was the discussion about the mixed overlay rezoning of the downtown district. Town Planner Paul Halkiotis began the meeting by giving an overview of the rezoning plan and recapping the recent stakeholders meeting that took place at the OCC. The board discussed changing a number of bylaws such as setback requirements, height limits, and increased density. Later in the meeting, Ted Brovitz, the consultant working with the town on this project, gave an informational presentation to members of the public on what the planning department is proposing for this mixed overlay district. Kim Weineck, the downtown manager, explained why the Friends of Norwood Center is in support of this bylaw.
What I've heard about some of the vacancies downtown that have been vacant for quite some time is that those buildings as is are not reflective of the needs of retail now, but the way that the zoning law has been written is that there's little incentive for the building owners and landlords to invest in the building, so this makes a huge improvement for that. And while I have the floor, I have a couple of notes, and one is that in my stint as downtown manager, one thing that we really have to overcome is nostalgia. You know, people, oh, Norwood used to be this, we used to go do this. I would take my family and come downtown and get everything that I needed. But there's something about this plan that does pull us back to nostalgia, right? It's the idea of I work downstairs and I live upstairs, and I am invested in that spot, and so I'm really concerned about its beauty and its use. And to me, it was the difference when I worked in a gallery in Beacon Hill versus when I worked at a gallery in the financial district. Everyone just leaves at night. The place is really kind of scary after hours, you know, whereas when people live and work, there's a wonderful aesthetic and a care and an investment. And one thing that was said at that meeting with the stakeholders was no one is coming in to just save Norwood Center. You know, we are always shop local, do this, you know, it matters. It's the heart of downtown Norwood, right, Washington Street. We need some catalyst, and that's what this can be.
The next planning board meeting will be in the upcoming weeks. To watch complete government coverage, tune into the NCM Government channel or watch it on demand at norwoodcommunitymedia.org. Stay tuned after this break to find out what is happening in your schools. I'm your host, Krista McDonald.
Thanks for joining me for another update.
It was a hard-fought battle at Murray Field.
Everybody you know and you like and you pal around with and you hang out with is here.
Your home.
Your home.
Your home. Your home.
Your home for all things Norwood.
Welcome back. Now we're going to toss it across to Tim Rose, who is going to fill us in on all the news around the school district.
Hi guys, I'm Tim Rose, and let's take a look at some activities happening in our Norwood schools this week. At the Balch School, students in Miss Duffy's first grade class studied monarch butterflies in a non-fiction writing unit. They researched the butterflies by reading multiple books and organized the facts they learned into chapters. First graders even included a table of contents, diagrams, and glossaries, and read their books to teachers and staff throughout the school. Balch School Literacy Lunch was started 7 years ago by literacy specialist Alyssa Kaplan. 4th and 5th graders listened to sophisticated picture books while eating lunch in the library, and teachers volunteered to read to a 4th or 5th grader every other week in the library while students eat lunch. This helps students appreciate good literature and create a love for books. Students are also exposed to vocabulary and story structures in books that may be too difficult for them to read on their own. In addition, students' background knowledge is deepened through exposure to a variety of book genres and subjects. Thank you to the teachers who participated this year: Principal Diane Ferreira, Balch librarian Christine Duffy, 2nd grade teacher Laura Macarsella, 3rd grade teacher Julie Kayer, and Alyssa Kaplan, literacy specialist and organizer of Literacy Lunch. This week is SAD Week at Norwood High School. For more on this, let's hear from health and wellness teacher Jan Cohn.
The acronym stands for Students Against Destructive Decisions. It used to stand for Students Against Drunk Driving, but it's been expanded over the years. So Monday, we promoted it, we did a little kickoff and let everybody know that this week is SAD Week. Tuesday, we asked all homeroom teachers to participate and help us distribute strips of construction paper. And on those pieces of construction paper, we asked students to write positive, healthy activities that they enjoy doing. So we got hundreds of these collected, and we connected them all and made a huge, I don't know how many feet long chain, and we hung it in the dining hall. An awareness type of activity, and we also typed up all of the activities that students do, high school students, that are not destructive, right? So many great things students enjoy doing. And so we printed them out and put a big poster in the dining hall so that students can go over and read different activities that students do enjoy doing, maybe kind of come up with some new ideas themselves. And then on Wednesday, we promoted awareness of SAD again by wearing red ribbons. So we distributed red ribbons, and we put one in each of the mailboxes for the teachers to wear as well, again, to have the message of awareness. On Thursday, we had the ice cream social. Students paid $1 and staff $1 tickets to come in and enjoy an ice cream sundae. And we also had this activity called Giant Jenga. I don't know if you've ever played Jenga, but this is a life-size Jenga. And again, an opportunity for kids to think of alternative things to do that make us laugh, make us feel good, have fun, enjoy socializing. So that was a great activity. I would like to give a shout out to Eli Norris. A big thank you to him for donating all of the chocolate sauce for the sundaes and all of the spoons and all of the cups. So thank you very much for that. And then on Friday, we wrapped up SAD Week with a 30-minute mindful meditation in the library. An introduction for some students to meditation, but basically a way to sort of gain inner strength and find our relaxation. So it was, all in all, it was a great week. I'd like to thank everybody who participated and helped out. There were many people, SAD members certainly were a big help putting this whole week together.
At the Cleveland School, first graders had their turn using the B-bots during library class. A Bee-Bot is an exciting new codable robot designed for use by young children. These colorful, easy to operate, and friendly little robots are a perfect tool for teaching, sequencing, estimation, problem solving, and just having fun. This activity is an extension of the computer coding skills students practice in the computer lab. At the Callahan School, you've heard of the Academy Awards and you have Tony Awards, but have you ever heard of the Incredible Kid Awards? Well, this is exactly what took place with students in Mrs. Barr's second grade class. Each student wrote about how a friend in their class was incredible. Family and friends attended the award ceremony, complete with a red carpet backdrop, student-made certificates, and trophies. They went up on stage and, with a microphone in hand, shared their incredible statements. Fourth graders in Mrs. Breen's class worked collaboratively to create a game board as a way of learning about different states. They then challenged their friends to answer questions in order to move from one state to another. Last, food services came to the Callahan School for another taste test. This time it was quinoa. Thumbs up for many students, but we think Mrs. Brown liked it the best. At the Coakley Middle School, CMS students were trained to be future leaders by NHS Mustang Mentors. Mustang Mentors are trained student leaders who help younger students to adjust to their new lives at Norwood High School. This week, seniors went to the Coakley in order to train 7th graders on how to be mentors for the incoming 6th graders. It was a great way for students to meet each other and participate in fun team-building activities. At the Prescott School, students in Mrs. Healy and Mrs. Kong's 4th grade classes wrapped up their study of famous individuals by completing bottle biography projects. Kids researched their individual in school, wrote up a brief report, and then worked on their projects at home. As you can see, the main part of the project is a 2-liter bottle, but many things are added. These are a few great examples of the individuals the 4th graders studied. The Prescott is excited to announce that their Spring Family STEM Night will be Monday, May 13th from 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock. It will feature fun STEM activities for kids and families of all ages, like stargazing with the Norwood Science Center and building paper airplanes. The Prescott is looking for community partners to participate, so if you are interested, please reach out to Principal Brian Riley. Now let's toss it to Brian Dunn for some spring sports news.
Thanks, Tim. Hello, everybody, and welcome into the sports update for this week. And yes, we have scores to announce finally. We're into the swing of things when it comes to the spring season, and many teams came hot out of the gate. So let's break it all down for you. The volleyball team kicked things off Friday against Nipmuc Regional and Norton on April 3rd. They lost in straight sets both matches. The baseball team went head-to-head with a preseason favorite in the Walpole Rebels. The Rebels stayed true to that claim as the Mustangs were shut out on the road against Walpole 9-0. Both lacrosse teams had strong opening day victories. Girls lacrosse opened up at home against Norton and secured the 13-3 victory over the Lancers. Boys lacrosse traveled to Bellingham and took them down by a final score of 18-9. Jake Smelser, in his return to the field from injury last year, found the back of the net 10 times in the win. And outdoor track and field opened up against Westwood, couple thirds, couple seconds, and 3 first-place finishes in the first meet of the year, including the 4x1 relay team. The boys lost 84-52, and the girls fell 85-51, both totals.
And a big congratulations to our youth hockey players over the weekend, as both the Bantam Bees and Squirt B2s came away with championship victories. The Squirt A's earned a runner-up place and a heck of a way to end the season by all. Great job, everybody.
As always, for more updates around Norwood Mustangs sports, you can stay tuned to our social media and visit norwoodmustangs.com. I'll leave you this week with a sneak peek of my first interview with the new head coach of the Norwood Mustang football program, Manny Lopes. Here's some of what he had to say of his journey back to the Mustangs. Hello there, everybody, and welcome into the studio where I officially get to meet the new head coach of the Norwood Mustang football team, Manny Lopes. Manny, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
So I want to start out by kind of just getting to know Manny the person as opposed to Manny the coach later. So can you just kind of shed some light on your background and where you come from?
So I'm born and raised here in Norwood, graduated 2002, still live here. Married to my wife, Laura Lopes, formerly Laura Ross. She graduated in 2004. We have 2 kids. Daughter Callie will be 3 in September, and my son Trip, it's actually Manny the third. He'll be 1 in next month.
Yeah. So. And you talked about, obviously, a graduate of the class of 2002. So those early years, for people that are close to the football program, those are really great years. The Super Bowl year in 2000. So can you kind of just talk about what it was like to play on that team?
Yeah, I mean, it was awesome. It was, Coach Lamb was obviously our coach, and he kind of bred us into the whole family football, family, you know. I remember playing Pop Warner with the same exact kids that I grew up and played high school football with. And we did a lot of the same stuff, and we became very close and friends forever. And the one thing that I owe a lot to football is the kids that I grew up with and the kids that I played with back then are still my best friends right now. And I think that's kind of gone away in the past. And I think the big thing about Norwood as a community and as a whole is just that tight-knit family. So I think Coach Lamb bred that into us. And you could see just the winning culture. He started it at the youth level, and by the time we made it all the way up through, I mean, we were just a great team.
So was there ever back in the early years when you graduated high school, was there ever a thought in the back of your mind like, hey, I might want to come back, or hey, I might want to get into the coaching profession one day?
I think so. Coach Calvinese was our defensive coordinator when I was in high school, and he kind of gave me free reign quite a bit on the field to do my own thing and kind of call some of my own plays based on his game plan. And he had ingrained in me pretty early that I'd be a pretty good coach. So when I played, obviously I didn't really think about it as I was playing. But the year I graduated college, I had an extra semester left of school, and I jumped right in. And I coached at UMass Dartmouth for a year. Then I went with another coach from there over to New Bedford Voc and started coaching right away, and I've been doing it since I graduated.
So fast forward to 2019, you get the call that you're officially now the head coach in the Mustangs. So just walk me through that feeling.
I was actually, we had a quick interview here before they told me last Friday, and it's something when I had left Norwood to go to UMass Dartmouth, played my last 4 years, and then coached, I always wanted to make my way back. One way or the other, I always wanted to come back and take over this program. Obviously, the years in New Bedford, it was a little farther away from home than I would like to be. Finally got the chance to come back 5 years here, and when it opened, I was nervous, thrilled, excited. And then when they finally, I honestly couldn't even explain to you the feeling. When they told me in this office, I almost started crying. I was so excited.
Thanks, Brian. Next, we bring you down to Town Hall, where the Health Department Director, Sigal Reese, has a special message for the Norwood community.
Oral health is a key part of overall health, and we're fortunate for Norwood residents to have access to a dental clinic in Sharon. And here's Dr. Martin with more information.
Hello, I'm Dr. Ray Martin, a practicing dentist in Mansfield, Massachusetts, and a volunteer dentist for the Elder Dental Program, which provides dental services for low-income seniors at reduced costs. On Saturday, May 4th, a free dental screening clinic for seniors will be offered at the Council on Aging in Sharon, Massachusetts. Dental professionals such as myself will perform oral cancer screenings. We will diagnose dental problems, talk with you about good oral health, and provide denture cleanings. We'll also offer sign-ups for low-income seniors who qualify for the Elder Dental Program. The clinic is open to anyone aged 60 years and older living in Massachusetts. If you haven't been to a dentist for a while, this is a great opportunity to get your teeth checked for free. That's Saturday, May 4th at the Council on Aging in Sharon, Massachusetts. To schedule your appointment, please call 774-203-1326.
Thanks, Sigal, for that great PSA. Sisters Deb Honor and Liz Hamilton of Norwood, Mass. were one of 11 finalists invited by the New England Revolution to compete for the chance to perform the national anthem at a Revs home match during the 2019 season. They earned the opportunity by edging out the competition during the 8th annual National Anthem auditions and making it to the live final showdown on March 21st at Lansdowne Pub in Boston. Deb and Liz sang Danny Boy during round 1 for guest judges Teal Bunbury, New England Revolution forward, who called their voices as compatible as peanut butter and jelly. Charlie Davies, New England Revolution Club ambassador, Patrick Hennehy, event presentation supervisor of Kraft Sports Group, and Ashley Jordan, 2018 Boston Music Awards Country Artist of the Year, who were tasked with cutting down 11 finalists to 3 winners. Elizabeth Pahota, reporter for the Revs, served as MC. Well, that's all for Norwood News. To stay up to date with Norwood Community Media, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. As always, thank you so much for watching. Have a great weekend.